Nice snap angle. Outside zone. Nice. Inside zone. Wash it off a little bit. I'm on the heavy on the left foot brake. Went a little wide there though. I think that's a solid run. Alright, welcome back to another episode of Tuning Cars. We just finished off the 400Z. We got that car from being washed out to being dialed. These are the ESDA 2.0 cars that we're tuning. Doing a little tuning guide for them. It's straight to the point. No fancy editing, just raw, uncut, editing the car and then actually like giving my thoughts on what we should do to the car to make it optimal. So today's car that we're gonna be doing is the E30. Now this thing is fucking tidy, I'll tell you right now. It sounds unreal. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Unreal looking car. E30, bloody, look at the front end. Look how wide those fenders are. Massive front and rear track. You know, bumper cut. The model looks unreal. Yeah, should be awesome. Well, let's take a look and see how this thing drives. This car is completely 100% stock. I have not been driving this car at all. I've got no idea how it's going to handle being a shorter wheelbase. As you can see here, we load up the settings. It is completely bone stock. It's got a long fourth gear. Tire pressures, everything is completely standard in this car. And let's go for a little rip and see how she feels off the bat. It's a little loud though. I am going to adjust the audio. Audio here. Transmission, we're going to up a little bit. 26. Master volume can come down. Alright. There we go. That's a bit better. Alright. We are driving on VDC Autopolis at the moment. Pretty cool track. Have a bit of a feel. Ooh, very darty off the rip. This thing's cool. Okay. Alright, awesome. Okay, this thing's cool. The one thing I noticed straight away, it's got zero front end feel. Unless you're sideways. Absolutely none. But as we always do, let's change the gearing first. That gearing is way too high, way too low, sorry. So let's drop that, let's increase that so that we're gonna be at 3/4. So fourth gear is about 220. Usually I like it around the 240 mark. But for this track in particular, anywhere range between 220 and 240 I feel is kilometers per hour in fourth gear is probably like sweet spot for most cars, especially the pro cars. All right, let's try a second gear takeoff and see how we go. He likes fourth now. Ooh. It didn't like to return then. Didn't want to return. Let's give it one more shot and have a think. Let's see where we're, what I think needs to be changed, where we're at. I want to get at least a clean run. Didn't like the clutch kick. Now it could be because of the smaller wheelbase, the short wheelbase. Very snappy. It could just be because of the short wheelbase. All right, let's have a bit of a tinker here. So, in terms of tire pressures, I do feel like the tire PSI is low. As I explained in the last video, the way tire pressures work in Assetto, As you can see, I just adjusted it. It was 22 PSI, now it's 20. It was 20 PSI, sorry, now it's 22. And you can see the PSI reading is in green, which means it's at its optimal pressure optimal pressure. The tire temps are in the blue, which means they still need to be warmed up. So by the end of the run, when I need the grip, the most optimal grip for that hairpin chicane, so for that hairpin, when I'm right on the edge of the track, this should give me the optimal temperature for the rear end. And then we decreased the front end pressures from like 28 to 24, which should give us a little bit more front end feel. So we'll give this a shot and see how this goes. All right, here we go. Caught the front end of the car with the foot brake, a little bit of left foot brake, just to make sure she's happy. Okay, cool. That felt decent. This car is pretty well set up compared to the Z. I feel like that the car has a decent alignment, which is probably making it easier to drive, but it can be refined. Before we do that, again, we're gonna run diff power at 80% and then diff coast down to 50. We're going to drop our preload down to 20. So the car has more of a two-way LSD type feel rather than a locked diff at 100% and 100%. Brake bias, we're going to go 70 and 95. 70% bias and 95% power. That's just purely based on the pedals that I have, which are the Fanatec V3s. So that's just personal preference. Let's give it a rip and then we'll look into the suspensions and alignment to see how we can sort of further refine it. And then, yeah, then we'll give it a couple more runs and see how we go. This car feels quite good off the rip. Besides that little washout at the start, like as you're initiating, once you're sideways, it's planted. So we just need to figure that part out. Just then, just by changing the diff, it helped the transition. Oh, we're on the grass. We touched some grass. All right, let's actually give it one more lap, or we can actually complete a lap. Because I wanted to check the snap from outside zone 3 to the hairpin. Missed that inner clip completely. Get back online. This is where I want to check it. It snaps me straight to lock, which is nice. Cool. All right. Let's go one more. Just trying to figure out why it's not. So because we decreased the power and the coast and the preload on the diff. On initiation, it's not as aggressive in terms of crank, as in like crab walking when you're snapping through gears. So I was using that on the first few runs to actually set myself up for initiation. So let's see what it does now. See if we can, might give it a bit of motivation. That felt pretty solid. That felt pretty solid. I can't lie. All right. I think the suspensions in terms of the roll in the roll bar and also how the springs are compressing, I feel like it's pretty good. Like the body roll is nice. And being that it's a short wheelbase, I don't really want to soften it anymore to give it any. I don't want it to inertia like and snap angle on me and do weird shit. So let's leave that. Let's drop the front camber. Let's make it. Let's drop down to neg 3.5 from neg 3. The front end toe, we're going to, it is currently set at 0.05 positive. We're going to go to 0.15 negative, which is going to be around 30 on this. Keep clicking. 30. The rear camber is fine, positive, it's all good. And the toe on the rear is pretty good. It's just the front end that I feel like just needs a little bit of love. Now, technically this should make the front end wash out more, but I want to tweak maybe the front springs just to give it a little bit more grip. Soften them up. Felt a lot nicer. Snap angle there. Okay, I'm offline. Alright, let's give it one more run. Start off in second. Not hitting that inner clip today. I think I need to come on the gas earlier or throw more angle. Initiation. Left foot brake will help me get out there. Okay, let's go one more run. And then we'll tweak that front suspensions and that stiffen that front end a little bit. Cool, okay. Let's tweak those suspensions. Now, when you touch suspension, it's going to adjust the alignment a little bit. So we're going to increase the ARB front, which is basically the anti-roll bar, up to 20,000 from 12. So we're just stiffening it up, giving it a little bit more rigidity. And I also want to drop the front wheel rate down to 55, which is the springs. So we're softening the springs up, but then stiffening the front end in terms of like the roll bar, like how much the car rolls. The rear is actually set to 2,000. I'm gonna go to 4. Let's see if this makes much of a difference in terms of the grip and the front end feel. That is so much nicer. That felt so much nicer. Just on initiation, I'm not like fighting the car to try and get me there. It's just getting to the initiation point, and the car is reacting the way that I want it to, which is great. I think this is solid, to be honest with you. Car feels good now. Doesn't wash out as much. I think the roll bar definitely did help on the rear as well a little bit. Just because I was forcing the car to try and catch it, where now it's more fluid. Even though it is a shorter wheelbase, short wheelbases will always want to snap a lot more than longer wheelbases or longer cars. Like your GDRs are very like smooth and flowing, where your MX-5s, your E30s, they are very snappy. Let's give it one final lap and lock it in. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. This is, I think, is a nice, quick, easy tune. Took me how long? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we got there. That is awesome. All right, cool. Let's take a look at the replay there. Curious to see that final run. Curious to see that final run. See how it looked, how the car looks, if it looks planted or not. Nice snap angle, outside zone, nice, inside zone, wash it off a little bit. I'm on the heavy on the left foot brake. Went a little wide there though. I think that's a solid run. I think that's a solid run. That felt good. That felt bloody good. All right, cool. Well, I guess that is the E30, man. This thing is cool. Snappy wheelbase if you like that style of driving. A lot of people like the aggressiveness of short wheelbases. I think it's fun. I think it's probably the most fun you can have in a car is a short wheelbase. The one thing that I did like on these models is the fact that you've got like where your accelerator is. Like you can see like clutch in, I let off, the brakes on the top. You can see the brake, how much brake pressure I put as well. And you can see the accelerator, how much accelerator I use. Handbrake as well. Pretty cool. These models are fucking sick. They've evolved a lot since I was competing. What was that, like 3 years ago? 2 years ago? So these models are unbloody real. ESDA did a great job with the V2 cars, and yeah, you should download them. You can get them at vosan.co. Go to Vosan to get all of your drift mods from there. That website's had a massive revamp recently. Matt did an unreal bloody job getting all that underway, and yeah, I know he was working on it a couple of years ago, but it looks unreal, and yeah, get all your mods from there. But yeah, I think that kind of concludes. Let's wrap it up with one final lap, and yeah, away we go. Good fun. All right, sweet. Unreal. Thanks everyone for watching. We're going to wrap that one up there. So that was the E30 from the ESDA Pro 2 pack. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.